everyone, I am Kiran Joshi. Welcome you all in class 9 history. This is the second chapter of history, Socialism in Europe and Russian Revolution, and here I am presenting the second part of the chapter. We learnt in the first part of the chapter that the socialist ideas spread through Europe. Still they could not succeed to form government. But in Russia the situation was reversed. Socialists took over the government in Russia through the October Revolution of 1917, the fall of monarchy in February 1917, and the events of October are called the Russian Revolution. How did it happen? What were the social and political conditions during the Russian Revolution? To get these answers of such questions, we need to look at Russia few years before the revolution. Russia was a vast empire that included Finland, current day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. It stretched to the Pacific and comprised today's days Central Asian states as well as Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. Tsar Nicholas II was the Russian emperor in 1914. He was from Romanov family and he was an autocrat who enjoyed unquestioned, unchallenged power and authority. The majority religion was Russian Orthodox Christianity. At the early 20th century, agriculture was the main occupation in Russia. Almost 85% Russian population earned their living from agriculture. Cultivators produced for the market, for their own needs, and also for export purpose. If we talk about industries, there were few industries and the prominent industrial areas were St. Petersburg and Moscow. In 1890s, many industries were set up when Russian railways network was extended and foreign investment in industry increased. Coal production doubled and the iron and steel production increased 4 times. Most industries were private property of industrialists. Government supervised large factories to ensure minimum wages and limited hours of work. But in craft units and small workshops, rules were being broken. The working day was sometimes 15 hours. Accommodation varied from rooms to dormitories. Workers were divided by skill. Metal workers considered themselves aristocrats among other workers as their occupations demanded more training and skill. Women made up 31% of the factory labor force by 1914, but they were paid less than men. There were some associations of workers to help the members during financial crisis or financial hardship or the times of unemployment, but such associations were few. When workers disagreed with employers about dismissals of or the work conditions, they used to strike or stop their work. In the countryside, peasants cultivated most of the land, but nobility, the crown, and the Orthodox Church owned large properties. The peasants did not respect the nobles and they wanted the land of the nobles to be given to them. Frequently, they refused to pay rent and even murdered landlords. In 1905, such incidents increased a lot. Russian peasants pooled their land together periodically and divided it as per the individual needs. Some Russian socialists felt that such a custom of peasants made them natural socialists and that they would be the main force of the revolution, not the workers. This was about the social and economic conditions in Russia. Now let's look at the political condition in Russia before the revolution. Before 1914, all political parties were illegal in Russia, though the Russian Socialist Democratic uh, workers' party was founded in 1898, inspired by Marx's ideas. It operated as an illegal organization. It set up a newspaper, mobilized workers, and organized strikes. Socialists formed the Socialist Revolutionary Party in 1900. The party struggled for peasants' rights and demanded the nobles' land to be transferred to peasants. Later, the party was divided over the strategy of organization into two wings, the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks. The Bolshevik group, led by Vladimir Lenin, thought that the party should be disciplined and should control the number and quality of its members, while the Menshevik group, led by Leon Trotsky, was of the opinion that the party should be open to all. So far, you have seen that social and political conditions were changing gradually. The year 1905 was full of violence and disorder. The Russian Tsar was an autocrat not subject to parliament. The liberals, social democrats, and socialist revolutionaries wanted to change this autocracy. They wanted uh, to for a constitution, and for that they worked with peasants and workers to demand a constitution. Actually, in 1904, the prices of essential goods in Russia rose too high to be afforded by the workers. Moreover, when workers from an iron factory named Putilov Iron Works were dismissed, there was a call for industrial action. Over 10,000 workers at St. Petersburg started to strike. They were demanding a reduction in the working hours, an increase in wages, and improvement in working conditions. When the unarmed procession of workers reached the Winter Palace was the residence of Russian Emperor. So when they reached the this Winter Palace, the procession was fired by the police. Over 100 workers were killed and about 300 wounded. This incident is known as Bloody Sunday or Red Sunday in Russian history. After this incident, strikes took place all over the country. Universities closed down where the students were complaining about the lack of civil libraries. Lawyers, doctors, engineers, and other middle class workers demanded a constituent assembly. So during the 1905 revolution, the Tsar allowed an elected consultative parliament, or which was called Duma. Many trade unions and factory work committees existed during the 1905 revolution, but after 1905 they were declared illegal. All the political activities were restricted. The Tsar dismissed the first Duma within 75 days and the second Duma within 3 months. Actually, he did not want any questioning of his authority or power. In the third Duma, he pegged conservative politicians. Conditions continued to be worse, and in 1914, the First World War broke out between two European alliances, Germany, Austria, and Turkey, and France, Britain, and Russia. Initially, the people in Russia supported the Tsar, but gradually the support wore thin. The anti German sentiments ran high along with the unpopularity of the autocracy. Russian army lost badly in Germany and Austria between 1914 and 1916. There were over 7 million casualties by 1917. Soldiers did not wish to fight such a war. There was a situation of disrespect for the government and the Tsar. The industry in Russia was also badly affected. already they were few in number. Moreover, the supply of industrial goods was cut off due to the German control of the Baltic Sea. By 1916, railway lines began to break down. As the fit and healthy men were called up to the war, there were labor shortages, and small workshops which produced essential goods were shut down. Large supplies of grains were sent to feed the army. As a result, bread and flour became scarce for the people in cities. Riots for bread were common. So, this was the condition till 1916. The further reason for the February Revolution will be covered in the next presentation, the third part of the chapter. Now there are some questions for you to revise the topic. So the first question is, describe the economic condition of Russia before 1905. Second, describe the condition of workers in Russia in the beginning of the 20th century. Third, describe the incident known as Bloody Sunday. State any two events after the Bloody Sunday which led to the revolution of 1905 in Russia. Fourth question, what was the Duma? How far was it successful? Fifth question, effects of the First World War on the Russian economy. That's all for this presentation. Hope you found this presentation helpful. Thank you.